gang. We're bringing you another update, and the reason I say gang is we have an extra person on board with us. So I'm here with Adrian, and I'm here with Jason, as always. And today, I'm proud to introduce a new developer who's also working on CodeSpells, and his name is Mark. Mark, would you mind saying a couple of words about yourself?
No. My name is Mark Kreitler, and I'm a gameplay programmer and game systems designer. And I joined CodeSpells a couple months ago, and I'm really excited to be on the team and happy to show you some of the stuff we're working on.
Yeah, we're actually going to be able to show off some of the features that Mark has added to the game since he's been on board, and they're very, very cool. They have to do with fire magic, and I'm pretty excited about seeing them myself.
None of these are Mark.
None of those are Mark.
Well, they're all Mark, but none of them is me.
Okay, yes.
Cool. Well, let's jump into CodeSpells for sure.
Yeah.
And we'll show off some cool things. Let's start with what's the first thing on my list? Oh, I hear tell that there is a new options screen. Is this true?
Yeah, there is an options screen, and it's not just new. It's the only options screen that's ever been, which is very exciting. Because this has been driving me crazy forever. And now you have options, which is not that exciting. But it's
So what
it's
options
cool.
do we have?
You can set the music volume and the game volume. Very exciting. I'm going to turn these down a little bit so that they don't take over the stream. And you can now do this little checkbox, which I don't know what that does. I guess we'll find out. And you can invert
it looks
the
exciting.
mouse y-axis, which I find crazy, but I understand why some people want to invert the y-axis on the mouse. So, yeah. I've always gotten used to the y-axis this direction, but anyway, yeah. So, yeah, you have some options, and there's
So
a couple of video options, but
you had it checked to record the last 10 seconds of gameplay. Is that the default, by the way?
this is the default with a recording quality of low.
Okay, cool. What other recording qualities are there?
There's a high recording quality.
Nice. Does that work on your computer? Or?
It does, yeah, we can try it out.
Yeah, let's definitely try that. Cool. All right, well, let's jump on in, and this. Let's start off with the video recording. I'm especially proud of this feature because I actually got to help with it. I don't usually get to program on CodeSpells. Adrian usually doesn't let me, but he allowed me to do it for this feature. So I have.
It's actually all Mark that doesn't let you. I have meetings with Mark where Mark's like, "No, Steven can't." Just
I knew it.
Steven works quite a bit on stuff, actually.
But
yes, this is the biggest feature that you worked on, apart from all the spell sharing stuff.
It's usually I just kind of pretend to be a manager and I have ideas, and then Adrian tells me my ideas are not good, and they do some other idea which is actually better.
No, I subtly imply that they're not good.
Okay. So we're pre-simulating a world here, and it looks like it's done actually. Yeah, cool.
We got a hot world.
Whoa.
I don't know why I decided to go with 0. Yeah, so the streaming is slowing down
0
a little
will
bit.
be full of trees.
Yeah, there's a lot of trees.
Now, is that new? Because it seems like there are actually more trees than last time.
Yeah, this version has a little too many. Do you guys want to talk about that?
Yeah,
I'll turn down the settings a little bit.
Mark has been working on the humidity and the sort of like we've been balancing out clouds and the pre-simulation and all the humidity that's in the air and in the world, and I accidentally turned the trees up too much. So I like them, but there's probably too many. I actually spent most of today messing with trees and how they're placed, and so we'll be sort of feeling that a little bit. I'm also sort of like just changing the density of them so that if we have forests, they're a little more spacious and you feel.
It looks to me like
walking around in them.
Like didn't the trees used to spawn kind of in the water? So it looks like they're not doing that. Is that something that y'all fixed?
That is something that Mark fixed, and it's awesome.
Yeah, so they
used to drive me crazy.
That was Jason's
so now you get
most
it's actually a lot
thing.
more.
of all things.
So it's a lot more realistic now. It looks like. Can you look down at the a body of water? It looks like the trees are just kind of
Yeah, I just
arrayed
got
around the
teleported.
water.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of trees everywhere, but they're definitely. Oh, that thing will be cool when it falls in the water. There's just a lot of trees in general. And once that guy falls in the water, it'll be pretty exciting. Okay.
Yeah,
anyway.
and what it's cool to see is that there's all these trees everywhere, but we can adjust by tree type where they grow and stuff. So this might be too much for these trees, but might be cool for some like shrubs or something to have them a little more populated around the world. So it's good to see that like we can do it. It's a little bit rough on performance, and I apologize for everybody's
Yeah, I should have made a new build. So
with all these trees.
There is a committed version that has less trees. I didn't make a build of that one, but we will have an update out with less trees soon. But there's a tree-covered temple in there.
Sweet. So
Yeah,
let's record a video. I know. So videos mostly get attached to spells, but you can actually just grab a link to the video and then do whatever you want with it. And so I guess we should show that off. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm gonna do something really cool, which is
I love this spell
that removes trees. So I'm gonna go ahead and use it a couple of times.
I love it.
Just for fun. But the cool thing here is I can click Control R because I have this property set. And what it'll do is it'll start saving out a video with the last 10 seconds of stuff that we did. You can see it doing it at the bottom there. And we'll have more ways of doing this. We'd like to have a way where you like press a button to start recording a video and then you press a button to stop recording a video. That is a little bit more, a little bit easier to understand. So now we can go into our videos and we have a high quality video that we just made and it should show up here if we don't get into demo death. But yeah, so you see the video here that shows me using this spell and destroying all these trees. And
cool.
I can copy that video link and I could technically just share it online or go out and do whatever with it. But you can also make a new spell. So I don't want to steal this person's spell, but we'll just do test video. And I can go to the spell and I can set that URL. You can technically set this to whatever you want. We do have a disclaimer that says that if you put something inappropriate, please don't do that. That's bad. But you can technically point this to any OGV file, and what it'll do is it'll load that video in there. So whenever you have your spell, you can do that. And I can be like, this video does not represent this spell because this spell does nothing. And so if you go, we have a lot of the ancient spells set up with these videos, so not that one, but you can go through some of those and just kind of see some of the videos that are set up for those, which is pretty fun.
Did we actually do that? I'm starting to...
I did do it for some. Remove heat should have had one. It seems like it's taking a little bit. The server might just be a little bit behind. But these definitely should have those set up.
Huh.
That might just be a bug. I gotta browse, it might show up. Yeah, there it is.
Oh yeah.
So
cool.
I don't know why it wasn't showing up locally. It's very odd.
Oh, this is add heat. We're actually gonna see. This is a new feature, so we're actually getting to preview it with the video here.
This is like a teaser right here.
Yes, this is awesome. Oh man, that is so cool. Anyway, we're gonna do that in just a second. But yeah, so we deliberated on whether we should let people share arbitrary videos, because like obviously people can share things that are super inappropriate, but we decided to kind of like err on the side of giving people freedom, because we believe that people will do good things with it. It gives you the option to take a video out, edit it, if you want to kind of shorten it down to the part that of your spell you really want to display, and then re-upload and host that, then you can make that the video for your spell. It gives you some more control.
Yeah.
But please don't do anything bad with it.
We have a new flag system where you can flag spells and stuff like that, and we get that information for spells that have been flagged as inappropriate. So I think, if we run into too many issues, we'll obviously add more features. We have a lot of ideas for how we could do that if we get a lot of inappropriate content, but we're hoping that it kind of balances out and we don't get inappropriate content, but we'll see how that goes.
It's inevitable. I just, I hope that I think the CodeSpells community is a pretty mature community compared to other gaming communities, at least for now. But just from the ones I've interacted with, seems like everyone's pretty cool.
And like I said, we have mechanisms for stopping those things. We can add more later if we need to, but we're going to trust people generally for now.
Yeah, cool. So that's the video browser. Pretty cool. I'm very excited to see what people post on that. Let's show off what I think is probably going to be the feature that's most interesting to players, and that is the new fire system or heat system.
Yeah.
Mark, do you want to give just a quick kind of like verbal preview of what it does, and then Adrian can show off some of the features?
Yeah, sure. So we've got objects now in the world that understand heat and heat transfer and combustibility and things like that. So right now it's hooked up just on dead logs and on some of the creatures. So if you go to these things and you cast add heat on them, you can actually start them burning. Oh, also the player understands it too. So if you cast add heat on something that understands heat, it will eventually catch on fire depending on its properties. And then once it's burning, it will actually radiate heat so that you can bring other flammable things near it and they may catch on fire. If you stand near it, you'll take damage. If you stand on it, you may catch on fire. And they also interact with water and remove heat. So something that's burning, if you add water on it, you can put it out, including yourself, which is pretty important. And if you cast remove heat on it enough, you can also extinguish the flames.
Whoa.
Awesome. So, and it looks like there's a kind of color that indicates to you what's going on with the heat. Is that true? That like the red light is separate from the fire, or is that the light from the fire, or is that your magic adding the heat?
So the add heat magic itself will emit sort of a red warmish glow. And then once there's fire, then that will create fire particles. And you can see things, it's a little hard to tell, but things that have burned actually darken to sort of this charcoal gray color as well.
Oh, so will it catch on fire again now that it's burned?
Well, so it depends on how much it has burned. Each object that understands heat also understands how much mass it has and how much fuel it has based on its mass. And once its fuel is exhausted, it will no longer burn. But if you've only burned it for a little bit and put it out, there's probably still some fuel left in there and you can reignite it.
Cool. Wait, does it become less heavy as well after it burns?
Yeah, actually it will actually consume mass as it burns and become lighter over time.
Oh my gosh, that is so cool. That is so cool.
Yeah.
So this one clearly has a little fuel left because it's still caught.
Correct. If you continue to add heat to something that's burning, you can drive it past its vaporization point. And for things like tree, and this is not well supported yet, but for things like trees, they don't vaporize, they'll explode. So the explosion right now is not done, but you can, if you continue adding heat to a log, you might actually see it sort of throw out a shower of sparks. And at that point, all its fuel will have been exhausted and it will not reignite.
Awesome. And now you actually lit a log on fire there, Adrian, and then the fire spread to a nearby log. That's what I saw, right? That's what happened.
Yeah,
huh?
yeah.
Oh, that's so cool.
I was shooting this one and I caught that one on fire over there.
So is it going to catch the trees on fire?
Right now, the live trees don't burn, but that's the next thing that we're going to add in.
Awesome. But did you just die, Adrian?
No. Yes.
Wait, did you catch fire? I actually missed it.
Yeah, I got too close.
Oh no.
Yeah.
So, does it deplete your life mana when you get too close to the fire?
Yes, and also if you add heat and stand in the middle of an area that's just radiating heat from your spell, you can also catch on fire and have your life mana depleted.
Oh, so you can definitely kill yourself with fire magic.
Yeah, well, there he goes. Right now, he has lit himself on fire. Unless he finds some water. Oh, there he goes. Yeah, that's the smart thing. In our game, stop, drop, and roll does not help you.
Although running through water may. Is that true? If you
Yes.
want. Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
have to get-
that's how I stopped it.
You have to get submerged enough. So just standing in a mud puddle is not going to help you. But if you get about half or more submerged, then that should do the trick.
So can you make a flaming log and then move it around with earth magic?
Absolutely.
Oh, cool. Wait, can we do that?
Yeah, we gotta find a log. Let's see.
If only we had a find log spell.
I'm sure, is there not a one out there?
There probably is. We could probably write one right now using Evo.
Yeah. Teleport to log.
Let's see.
There's just too many trees in the world. You can't find a log.
Find log.
Oh no. I don't know, we'll give it a couple days.
Let's see. Can we do it? Let's see. How would we go about doing this? So let's do. I don't know what just happened. So create. We'll do orb dot evaluate unity script. Game object dot find. Do you know what they're called, Jason?
Oh boy. I don't.
Okay.
I could, yeah.
Yeah, that's not gonna work. We need to.
It was a
I'd
good
have to
effort.
write
It was a good effort.
I'd have to write a thing to tell me what the name of it is, and then we'd have to find it based on that. If not, we're just gonna get too much junk. But we can always just search, like, not like wizards, just like
normal
like
people?
losers.
Like the mundane.
Yeah.
The mundane log searchers.
Log searching.
Why?
Do logs leave tracks, Jason?
Logs do not currently leave tracks. But man, wouldn't that be great? They
You know
walk
what?
down the hill and left path behind them.
Oh yeah, use the
Someone suggested to use Boucheron to clear out the
Brilliant.
forest.
Love it. Oh man. I found some rocks.
We found one. That was so much faster. Oh my gosh.
That was brilliant.
There's
Thank you.
two over there.
This is what I mean. The CodeSpells community is mature and apparently smarter than we are.
Alright, so what are we doing with these logs? Are we gonna ride them?
We are going to catch them on fire and then throw them. Obviously.
Alright, what are we gonna throw them at?
Can we throw them at water? Or
Sure.
I don't know. I just want to throw them. We can use Jason's launch at 45 degrees spell.
Let's do.
Tosser?
I
The tosser.
actually want to throw them at a croaker, if we can.
Oh yeah, sure.
Let's just take this around. Oh no! No! Yeah.
He's getting too close.
I don't know if people know
What
this,
happens when you have cruel intentions?
but yeah,
This is not going well.
it's not going that badly.
Maybe you should have used Hoop Tosser. Just saying.
All right. Well, A for effort, Adrian. It's the thought that counts.
No, it's really not. I'm gonna restart and try a different seed. See if we have a.
That world was too cruel to you.
Yeah. You got a hot seed, Jason? I think
I
2048
don't.
is
Just
pretty cool.
let it go random.
Nah, 2048 is. I don't remember actually. I just wanted to write that because it's a cool number. Power of 2.
We're getting a question in the chat why the flaming log didn't light up the grass.
What's
Mark?
that?
Oh, a question for Mark. Why the flaming log not light up the grass?
Because I haven't connected the old foliage system to the new heat system. That is another thing. That's after we get the trees catching on fire, we'll revisit getting the foliage to catch on fire.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, it turned out that was not very fun, and so yeah.
Yeah,
We're gonna
it's interesting.
reevaluate it and see how it goes.
Yeah, there were a number of things that I.
Too
go ahead.
Dangerous. It becomes not as much fun if you just accidentally can catch the whole world on fire.
Yeah, I mean, no matter what, I think we'll want to minimize it from what we had before. But I think it would still be awesome. Oh, this is a great map, isn't it?
You're in a waterfall.
I like 2048, but I knew there were going to be a lot of trees in it. That's why.
It's running really well. She got this log. It's doing yoga. It's impressive.
That's an awesome log.
Knock it over. Alright, let's light this log and go find a croaker while we continue talking. No, I can't have already caught fire. Oh my gosh.
Once you are on fire, how long till you die? Assuming you stay lit.
I'm not sure because I'm always running in developer mode, so I have regenerating health, and I just kind of run around on fire a lot.
That's cheating, Mark.
To answer that question, the light is currently the main indicator that something is hot or that you've cast a add heat spell to something. So there's no changing the texture on the ground or anything like that to make it appear hotter, but we will make sure to clearly indicate as much as possible that things are dangerously hot.
Yeah. Yeah, it
So
might even be fun to have some sort of like dialogue that shows you how hot it is where you are. We can print that out, but it would be cool to have that in the UI in some way. I think it'd be kind of cool to have like.
We could do something with like a screen overlay where it appears like your screen gets redder even.
Did you douse your log?
I don't know where it went. I accidentally grabbed another thing. Oh man, I lost my log. Oh, there it is. No, that's not it. It's a new log. That's alright. Alright, what were we talking about? Was there something else we wanted to show off?
Well, so we've caught some logs on fire. We've seen that fire causes a chain reaction. We've doused things in water to get them not on fire. The only thing we haven't done is caught a croaker on fire. I don't even know if that's possible, but
oh, it certainly is.
Oh, then we need to do it. We must do that.
It is possible, isn't it, Mark?
It is possible, yeah.
Alright, well,
it's hard to do with just a log. It's easier to just go up and cast add heat on them, but theoretically it's possible.
I don't see why. Alright, fine. I won't take my log. I'll just go find
that should be we were talking about achievements earlier today. That would be a pretty sweet achievement. Like you caught a croaker on fire with a log. Like, some of these things are not easy to do.
I'd probably like accidentally hit him with the log and it would just kill him from getting hit by the log.
Right.
Knock at the achievement. That's a sweet little plateau over there. That's where my super fortress would be.
Oh, sweet.
I don't know where the croakers are. Jason, where them croakers at?
You gotta find some waterfalls.
Well, I'm not seeing too many waterfalls.
Maybe because there's too many trees.
Oh, I found one. What's up, bro? Okay. Just calm down.
Light this croaker on fire.
Let's just all calm down a little bit. I want to be especially cruel. Just because I don't know why. I don't know why I feel like a jerk today. Oh, look at this. We can
Oh,
probably
he's got some friends.
light one of those dudes on fire, and it'll get the other one on fire.
Yeah. You should try that. Now, did the
Okay,
color
okay,
just change? Or is it... Oh.
Yes.
Oh, you got him.
The post-processing effects of the world change based on... Oh my gosh. Oh, don't look. Ah, gosh. You know, it's...
This is what happens. This is what happens. You try to go around lighting innocent creatures on fire.
Bill, it wouldn't have happened if I had done it with a log. I would have been able to keep my distance. They wouldn't have seen it coming. It would have been totally safe. Ah. Whoa. Uh-oh. This isn't good. I'm not doing too well today. That looks
Jason,
awesome.
I know you like rocks. Actually, everyone by this point probably knows you like rocks. I think I know we've shown off these kind of like curvy rocks in a previous update, but I don't think I've asked what if you have like a kind of geological reasoning behind those rocks.
Yeah, I mean, I always like to think that there's got to be some kind of like lava that like freezes, like solidifies very quickly, and there's some sort of crazy, I like to think in a world where things can float, like the crystals, and there's all sorts of there's this loose rule in the CodeSpells world in my mind where blue glowy crystals have a like anti-gravity kind of property to them. Like the crystals that float around those little sort of outcroppings where they never fall to the ground unless you drag them down, or the gravity well has a little blue crystally feel, or the little towers off the distance. So I like to think like they were like volcanic eruptions that had these little crystals in them that kind of like floated up in the air and froze that way. So that's why they kind of curl like waves.
Yeah, that's awesome. That is awesome.
I
Blue
mean,
crystals, anti-gravity. Love it.
Yeah. I mean, and they're very, it's very loose, but I feel like it's the kind of thing that the more like assets we add that hint at that. Like if you look at those curvy rocks, there's a glowing, emissive texture to them that is blue. It just shows up in the cracks, like it's maybe underneath there.
Yeah.
There's a bounce ball.
Bounce a ball. Bounce a ball.
Well, so to kind of wind down, I don't know if we have announced this, but Adrian, you have actually started working on multiplayer.
Yeah, we have announced it. We haven't given too many updates on it because we know that it's we know that it's one of the more difficult parts of the game, and we don't want to promise timeline. So yeah, I mean, I don't really have too many updates in terms of timeline. We have set goals that we are trying our hardest to achieve, and we're hoping to have something to release to players sometime next month, but we're not promising that yet because we might still need to iterate on it. Yeah, we'll keep everyone updated on how that's going. I want to have a very good demo of it for the next monthly update, even if we don't release it just yet, because there will be certain features that may not be done yet, but I do at least want to show off some aspect of it next month. And then ideally at some point later next month we can release it to people, but again, those details are, multiplayer is just very difficult, and we've acknowledged that the whole time, and we're figuring out all the details of it, but it's coming along, and I think it'll be really cool. I'm very excited about it. So.
Cool. One thing I also forgot to mention is we've made some fairly significant progress on the staffs, the custom staffs, that not custom staffs, but the special staffs that we mentioned in the Kickstarter update. Jason, I made those actually quite a while ago, and then they're almost in the game. Do you want to project a potential timeline for that?
Yeah, I mean, we should definitely have that out some point this month. I would think we're very close. We already have it so that we can technically swap out the staffs. So really, we just need to get people's information about what Kickstarter account they use so that we can access the different tiers that they backed at to give them their staffs. In terms of other staffs, we don't have any specific plans for that just yet, but we might tie that in. But if you back the game on Kickstarter, you should be getting your Kickstarter staff pretty soon.
Yeah, so. They're pretty sweet. They're awesome. I love the new staffs actually. Yeah,
they're really cool, and some of them will be programmable, so that'll be really exciting to be able to attach a script to them and make them do fancy, pretty little things.
And just to be clear, these are in-game staffs, not physical staffs. There was some minor confusion about that at one point. So some backers were disappointed that they weren't going to get shipped a full-size physical staff. And in looking back, we were not clear that it would be digital. It didn't occur to us that we needed to specify that. I could see where there would be some confusion. These are in-game staffs. You'll put them on your character, and you'll program them in-game.
Yeah.
If someone wants to 3D print a full-size version of it, though, that would be awesome.
Yeah, definitely. We won't stop anyone from doing that. I don't see any problem with that. Cool. So we have a couple more questions.
Yeah, I see some questions about tournament. I think this is one thing. You know, we've hit most of our deadlines, pretty much every deadline for Kickstarter. The only one that we slipped up on was the tournament, which we said we would do like last year. And I don't know why we said that, because that was before multiplayer was supposed to be released. And so during that time, I think this was like November last year, we're like, wait, we're supposed to do a tournament. And then we realized, no, that's going to be really lame without multiplayer. So we just kind of tentatively rescheduled it to this year after multiplayer is done. So when will it be? I'm not sure, given that multiplayer is something we haven't quite committed in terms of timeline. But someone's saying summer 2016, and I could see that being a definite possibility.
Yeah. I mean, we can also do a tournament that's not multiplayer, but we figured it would just not be as exciting.
Yeah, that's true. We did think about that.
So, yeah. And then I think there was another comment about the stabs going out in November. Yeah, there was so on Kickstarter there is the expected arrival date of those things. So the stabs did take us a little bit longer than we expected as well to get out, just because we realized that we wanted to build the spell sharing and account stuff beforehand so that we could leverage all that to give out that stuff and keep it all contained in one system.
Yeah, that's true. Turns out we're not perfect. But let's see. What else we have? Multiplayer. How bare bones do you think that the multiplayer experience will be when the first playable version is released?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
It will be as bare bones as we can make it and still be fun.
Yeah, so we don't want to release it if it's completely broken, so it's not going to be so... So we said this a couple of times, but one thing that we don't want to do is we're obviously not going to make an MMO. We've said that before, like, you'll have a limited number of people on your server, and we aren't planning on hosting servers. It's more of you create a server and invite people to play in your game. we might have a way of hosting, or at least showing a list of people that are inviting people to join their servers. But in terms of what we'll release, we'll try to release a very good step towards the final version that actually has stuff that you can do. We don't want to just release something that's broken.
Yeah. I mean, I think we sort of hinted last time, and it's probably still true, that likely the earlier releases of multiplayer will involve some kind of some multiplayer meditation. So some kind of like subset of the game. It's not like you, at first at least, you won't run around on the large map. Maybe there will be some features missing, but you'll be on some smaller meditation. So I could imagine a bare bones first release looking something like that.
At most something like that. Yeah, but we're trying not to promise anything specific in terms of multiplayer, because we're still building it, and we want to have those details ironed out properly before giving all the specifics of it.
Yeah. The number of players we honestly can't give them.
Yeah, I mean,
I guess, because we're gonna have to try to test that over and over again.
Yeah.
And that would be pretty nice.
Yeah.
if we could have a ton of people, but also we might find that having a ton of people isn't fun. There's like, that I find with multiplayer games, there's like a magic number, like Halo found their magic number, and it was not massive 32 on 32 battles, which everybody thought it was going to be, but yeah.
So there was another question. I think, Mark, you might have answered on the chat, but we should bring it up so that it's in the recording as well. Steven, do you see that?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's kind of a collection of questions about, so basically fire. Okay, so when the simulation is updated, are there going to be more magical abilities, like besides adding heat and explosions? An example might be making orbs flammable so that you can make a flame tornado, which I love. That sounds awesome. That's the gist of the question. Mark did add a text response, but Mark, can you do you want to give a verbal response too?
Oh, well, actually, my text response was for a slightly different question. So can you restate the question you want me to answer? Maybe I can answer both.
Well, the question, as I understand it, is will there be other fire orb abilities aside from add heat and explosion? That one example that this question asker gave was like a ability to make orbs flammable, so there's like a flaming tornado kind of potential.
Yes. The next sort of iteration of heat, what we want to do is expose the heat model parameters to the spell system. So that's things like how flammable things are, how much their temperature changes when you add heat to the world, and things like that. So as an example of something we hope to achieve is, so we're going to add the fact that you can catch live trees on fire. You might be able to go into a region and say, cast a spell that makes everything that can burn more easily. And so you go in, you cast one spell, it sort of primes everything, and then you cast another, add heat, and suddenly all the trees around you catch on fire at once. And that's just an example. But yes, things like the flame tornadoes and flaming orbs, that should all be achievable. Just a question of how much time we get to develop fire before we decide we want to switch over to multiplayer. So I think a lot of people want. I know CodeSpells is not a game about shooting projectiles necessarily, but of course people like shooting projectiles, fireballs and stuff like that. So do you think there will be an ability to shoot fireballs of some sort? I would hope so. I mean, what kind of self-respecting magic game doesn't have a fireball spell?
Touche. +1. And I know Adrian has always been excited about fire being element for creating and destroying other objects. So that may be some kind of feature that gets rolled into fire magic where you get to spawn things.
Yeah, I mean, and if you can spawn things, that opens up the door for a lot of things. For instance, these rocks. If I could spawn one of these rocks in a spell, I create the one, and then using what Mark just described, we make it incredibly flammable, and then we add heat to it and throw it, and then it catches fire, and we've made a fireball out of a rock. So there's all sorts of crazy things you can do with that stuff, is if you can create objects and alter the physical properties of them like that.
Right.
But yeah.
Right. Cool. Let's see. Will there be a way for an orb to stick to an object so that after being hit, the orb follows the object?
Yeah. So you track the object? Is that the question?
Yeah, like a...
So you should be able to do
I guess
that.
tracking... Can you do that now? I mean, if you want it to stick, like make an orb
magic.
sticky.
There's not a way of making it sticky, but that is a cool earth power, would be to just kind of stick to it. If you touched it, to just kind of stay stuck to it, and it could cost something. There is not a way to do it now. Right now you'd have to use air magic to keep tracking the object, but that is a cool idea. That would be really cool.
Yeah. It is. So it is actually doable, I think, with the... Yeah, if you loop in air magic, you should be able to follow things.
Yeah, I mean, there's some error in air magic, so if the object is moving quickly and it's hard to predict where it's going to end up going, you might not be able to track it properly, which is kind of cool. But if you've already hit an object and want to stick to it, it'd be cool to have a power that allows you to stay kind of attached to it.
Right. Yeah. Well, cool. Let's see. I don't see any new questions in the chat, so we should wrap up. As always, a huge thank you to everyone who's here live and everyone who watches later on YouTube. Everyone who supports our game, whether it was on Kickstarter at the beginning or through Steam now, we really, really appreciate it. We're a small team making an indie game. We're excited about it, but the fact that other people are excited about it and actually buying it is what lets us keep doing this. So thank you. We really, really, really appreciate it. We're definitely looking forward to releasing multiplayer.
Yeah, absolutely.
And playing with you guys.
Yeah, and the fact that someone makes a spell to remove trees helps us in our demos is great too.
That is awesome.
Yeah. But yeah, cool.
Cool.
Thanks,
All right, well,
everybody.
we'll see you next month. Thank you, everyone.
Yep, thank you, everybody.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye.